Speaking of high fashion, you might have noticed that I'm emo Nick tonight.
You are kind of emo.
Yeah. Sad about fingernails, I guess.
It's what it is. Listen, hey, when the fingernails get ripped off, man, listen, sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You turn a little bit emo-ish.
Emo-ish.
Hey, I just thought of something back to back.
Yeah.
Last week, we're talking about teeth on the ground.
Right.
And now we're talking about ripping fingernails off. What is the world coming to, Nick? And welcome to the Doggone Show.
Welcome to the Psychopath Club.
Yo, yeah.
Next week, I'm not going to lead with a story about removed body parts.
What, you don't want to start with removal of miscellaneous important things for a human body, Nick? What's wrong with you?
I'll tell you what, if I've got a story about that 3 weeks in a row, I'm going to start wondering about myself.
Yeah, that's true. We got to start getting ahead a little bit. We need to get at least one episode ahead.
That's true.
Because I've got some vacation time coming up, Nick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got to start thinking about that.
That's right. I got vacation time in July, and then we've got our trip happening in September, Nick. That's right around the corner.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that. I've been getting prepared, getting my passport in order because, last time I was in your country, I did not require one.
That is true.
I could just skip across the border like nothing.
Is it expensive
to go across the border?
For your passport?
No, it's like $50.
Oh, wow, that's cheap. Okay.
Something like that. It just takes a little bit of time. You can get it emergency.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty much an emergency, Nick.
Well, emergency is like 2 days, and you got to prove you're traveling in 2 days.
Oh.
So I got plenty of time as far as this is concerned. I just have to get it mailed to me.
You just gotta
I'm going to let him do it the natural way so that it doesn't cost me extra.
Listen, doggone ghosts, sometimes they don't wait, Nick.
I tell you what, I am having my ID. I'm having my passport. I'm triple checking all that stuff because I told you what happened last time I traveled.
Yes.
Did I tell it on the show?
Yeah, I don't know if you did, Nick.
No, I don't think I did.
I don't know that we did because it's a good story though. You want to tell it?
Yeah, I do. And especially with how things are right now, if I do this going to the US,
it won't happen this time. Yeah, it won't happen for sure.
No, actually, I doubt they'd let me go this time.
You're probably right.
They're serious about that stuff.
And in fact, I got a side story. Well, more like a side thing that I read this weekend that would fit in line with what you're about to tell.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well, we're ready to go then. We're ready to go.
Absolutely ready to go, Nick.
All right. So I did a number of trips last year, both of them to Toronto, which is where I went to school. So I was pretty familiar with it. And after the first trip, which I went with my friend, and she wanted to go to wrestling, which is very popular among ladies.
Who would have thought?
Surprise, surprise.
It's the guys, Nick. That's why.
I know. In their underwear rolling around on stage.
With each other.
I'm sure that appeals to a lot of women.
Exactly.
So I took her up to that. I dropped her off at the stadium and then picked her up afterwards, though, because I ain't going to that, especially with ticket prices at like $500.
It's like not on my watch.
Yeah. So anyway, I went on that trip. We had a lot of fun. I come back and I was telling everyone about it. And I was telling my dad and his girlfriend and her grandson and my brother and his girlfriend. And they're like, okay, let's go to Toronto. You're going to come as a guide. And I'm like, okay. I love going up there. So I was sort of like managing all the plans, booked all the tickets, booked the hotels. I did it through Expedia, which is the cheapest way to do it. Not a sponsor, but definitely could be. And
this is your one freebie.
Right. This is your one freebie. We do that a lot to people. And I get, they had a lot of requirements for travel. They didn't want to wake up. They didn't want to wake up too early, and they wanted to be all seated together and all these things that have extra costs. I don't care. I don't talk to people on the plane.
Me neither.
So the bill kept going up and up. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. They don't get to travel too much. You know, we'll just go with it. And I said, okay, I'll drive us up because I like to be in control like that. I guess I'm a little bit of a control freak. I don't like to be the passenger. So I said, I'll drive us up. So it is still pretty early. It's still dark out. I get to Dad's house, and very precisely because I knew that I had to have my documents ready, I put them in my car in the center console. This is where it went wrong. Big time.
This is where it goes wrong. Trust me.
So I get there, and they're like, and I'm like, okay, everyone in, put your luggage in. They're like, oh, we're going in my dad's girlfriend's car. I was like, why? I filled up with gas. I'm ready to go. I like to drive stuff. You guys can just relax. And they're like, well, we want to make a mess in the car because my dad's going to want to smoke in the car. The grandson's going to want to eat in the car. Like, I don't allow any of these things in my car. Mm-hmm. I keep it pretty pristine. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we take off.
Have you guys caught this already?
Yeah, I'm sure you must have caught it. I didn't. So we get going. It's still dark out. And this part I definitely didn't tell you. We had to slam on the brakes because we almost ran into 3 miniature horses prancing around the road.
You did not. You left that out last time we talked about his Nick.
Yeah, so that was like a bad omen. 3 miniature horses in the road is a bad omen. Because lots of people have animals there. So anyway, we get going. It's fine. I'm not used to being a passenger, but I'm just sort of like meditating because I don't have that control over what's going on. And we get up there and they're like, well, you can't check in yet. It's too early. Get up to the front. I give them my license that I had in my wallet because I had a license in my wallet. And they're like, we can't accept this. And I'm like, why not? Oh, this is expired. I look at it. And all of a sudden, it's just like, before death, people's life flashes before their eyes.
Yes.
I got the short film version that just went back as far as leaving my car 2.5 hours away. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm taking things out of my wallet. Can you use this? Can you use this? Nothing. So they're like, no, you can't fly. And I said, if I can go get a temporary license paper from the DMV and bring it, Department of Motor Vehicles, and bring it back here, will you let me on the plane? And he's like, yes. But I don't think you can do it. So I happen to know a guy who lives in the city. I call him up. He speeds all the way there. I jump into the car. He's hardly stopped moving. We zoom to the DMV. I run in there, tell them my situation. They move me to the front of the line. I've never seen them do this before.
And people was cheering.
What's that?
People was cheering.
They wanted to help me, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up there. The girl does it up in I'd say under 4 minutes. I pay for it. Cost quite a bit of money because it's an emergency. They got me. I had to do it. So I get it. We get back and we squeal out of the parking lot. We drive super fast, completely legally. As fast as you can legally go if no one's watching. So we get there. I jump out. I run to the front. That guy is not there. So I give it to someone else. They're like, I don't know if we can accept this. The guy comes around the corner and says, yes, take it. And he's like, you got to run. So I take off down I'm in my adult life, I do not run a lot. And I'm running through the airport to security. And I'm pretty impressed with myself. I'm like, I can still run pretty fast. I'm really amazed.
If a wild animal attacks you, you can get away.
Yeah. So I didn't know what the other guy was doing, but the guy who helped me, he took off running too. Somewhere. I get through security. I run to the gate. And he had run all the way up there to make sure that they'd take it when I got to the gate.
Wow.
So he really did me a solid. So I don't know your name, dude, but you really saved my butt. So I get through, I fly up to Toronto. We have a spectacular time. And it's time to come home. I get to the airport in Toronto, which is another province in Canada. And they're like, we don't take that paper. And I'm like, you flew me here. You've got to fly me back. So I'm going through my wallet and there's only one piece of ID that I've not tried using so far. It's not picture ID, but I'm like, I'm going to be stuck in this place if I don't do something.
Like a jail cell.
Right. So I play something that I didn't think was going to work, but turned out to be my card. Shouldn't have said that word. It turned out to be my winning card. Well, I don't normally, I'm saying all kinds of things I don't normally say. But it turns out to be my winning card.
Yep.
And it is my firearms license.
Oh, there you go.
And I thought, this might make it even worse, but I had no choice. And he's like, okay, head on. Just like that.
I would assume that would be like a government card.
It's a government card and it's not easy to get them anymore anyway.
Exactly. Like so I can see why they would let you use that.
Yeah. But it doesn't have picture ID. And I thought that's the part might be a problem. But after that, they were like, let him go.
Well, I was reading this weekend, and I don't know if this is true or not, but TSA put out a article about things that you can and cannot use in the airport.
Oh.
And apparently a common thing that people try to use, their Costco card.
Really?
Yeah.
There is no way you couldn't get into anything with a Costco card here.
Yeah.
Other than Costco.
They say that everyone tries to use their Costco card as a secondary ID.
They don't really verify your identity at all.
No, not at all.
I've never had one, but I know a lot of people who do, and I don't think they do an extensive background check on you.
Well, so funny story. Jess and I, we signed up for Costco 2 years ago. And the way it was sold to me is this super cheap place, blah, blah, blah. There's really good deals there. I'm like, well, shoot, we got a Sam's Club card. That's good. Maybe this will be good too. I'll be honest. I went through there and I'm like, man, everything's freaking retail. I don't know why I'm here.
I've been in there because you can go as a guest of someone.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever bought anything there but cheese.
I've never bought correction. This last Christmas, last Christmas, we get a honey baked ham every year.
Oh, okay.
Have you had honey baked ham?
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Wait, are you talking about that? You're not talking about that thing in a can, are you?
No, I'm talking about the company, the Honey Baked Ham thing. Company. Yeah, the real deal.
Yeah.
Because there's Honey Baked Ham, and then there's the company called the Honey Baked Ham Company.
Oh, no, I have honey baked ham made from just a fresh piece of ham.
Oh, no. So there's a company called Honey Baked Ham Company here.
All right.
And they have specialized hams.
Okay.
And in my opinion, it is the drug of hams.
Really? And this is a Costco thing, is it?
No. I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay. So
honey baked ham, it's an expensive ham.
Right.
And typically for Christmas, we get something that'll feed, up to 8 or 9 people.
Right.
And usually in Christmas pasts, it's like $80-$90. It's pricey.
That's only $10 per person though, if you think about it.
But when you can buy another ham,
right,
anywhere else for $1.99 a pound.
Yeah, and probably feed just as many people.
Well, yeah, I mean, instead of paying $80, you're going to pay $35 or $40.
Right, big difference.
Yeah, this Christmas, we're looking at honey baked ham, and for the same ham, it was $120.
Wow.
And then we're sitting there and we're going, man, like, do we really want to pay like $120? And I'm like, man, I really like the ham, but maybe there's better alternatives. Like, I don't know. So I went to the Google machine, as we do, and I just typed in, what's the best ham on the market? I'm like, just because I loved honey baked ham, maybe there's someone that has something a little bit better. Maybe it's a little bit cheaper. The top 3 was like more expensive than honey baked ham. And I'm like, well, okay.
I try not to get myself stuck in that because sometimes I have this thing I like over and over again.
Yep.
And I don't know what the other options are.
That's true.
And I try to break myself out of that.
Well, and one of them is a company that I knew well. It was David and Company, I think is the name of it.
Okay.
In which they do. The reason I know them so well is because they have like fruits and stuff like that they sell a lot of times during the holidays also.
Okay.
I've never bought them, but like I've seen like a lot of times like school when they're selling stuff. Sometimes it's that David and Company, I think is the name of it.
That's where they get it from.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm like, well, that's more expensive than a honey baked ham. So I don't want to go that place.
Right. Let's head the other direction.
And the other 2, one was like they specialize in like Yamaha steaks and stuff. And then, but they do ham too. And they said that was like the premium place. I'm like, yeah, we're not buying that one. That one's super expensive.
Right.
And then they hit honey baked ham. And I'm like, that's the one I like, but I know that's $120. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go through this list and it's just going to be all these priced expensive places.
Mm-hmm.
So I start typing in, I said, cheapest entry level ham.
Right.
And it showed, the number 1 spot, Costco.
Okay.
And I'm like, we got a Costco card.
It's fate.
It's fate. It's meant to be. So we go to Costco. We buy a ham for like $40. Pretty cheap. I think it's like $40-$50, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I sure hope this has a good ending.
Well, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So we make this ham.
Yeah.
Have it for Christmas. Now, usually what happens is we have leftovers and then we eat those leftovers. That ham, I mean, it damn near ruined in my refrigerator. Like no one touched that ham after that.
That's sad because ham, like, the leftovers are part of the adventure.
Oh yeah. Like me, typically we have leftover mashed potatoes. My mom makes these amazing chicken noodles.
Oh, okay.
And we have like ham. So usually what I do, this is how I call it extending the life of the noodles.
Right.
Big old chunk of mashed potatoes, dip into it, a big old plonk of noodles. So it looks like I got a whole bunch of noodles. And then I have like little pieces of ham. But like we'll crush that honey baked ham in like 2 days.
Not this time.
But it was so bad. And I told Jess, I said, going forward, we probably just buy the honey baked.
It was so bad.
It only took me 1 year.
Christmas.
It almost did cancel Christmas. It only took me once, Nick.
You will never go inside your comfort zone again.
Never going outside. Listen, you never go outside your comfort zone, in my opinion. You find
Not
something
when it
you
comes
love.
to ham.
Well, almost every restaurant I go to, I got favorites.
Right.
Like if someone names a restaurant, I probably have a favorite there and I get it every time.
Okay.
And then like Jess will be like, why do you always get the same thing? I'm like, I'm never disappointed.
Right. Well, I mean, that's true.
Never just like
just out of curiosity, Chinese food restaurant. What do you
I can't have Chinese because I'm allergic to high levels of MSG.
That sucks because MSG is awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's in most flavoring. Like I'm fine as long as I don't eat high levels.
I just take a handful of it and toss it into the pan.
Here's the crazy part. The way that I found out that I have that is I had an egg roll at a Chinese restaurant. First time I ever had Chinese. And the back of my throat started itching.
Oh, that's not good.
And I think I had an egg roll. I feel like I had something else too, like maybe a cabbage roll or something. I can't remember. I'm that way with seafood too, like crustaceans, like lobster and stuff like that.
Oh, you're missing all kinds of really good stuff then.
Well, here's what's funny. The last employer that I had for we had like this club if you made into, but once a year we had an awards banquet, and they had it was like lobster stew.
Oh, interesting.
And you just got it by default. And I told Jess, and I was sitting there and I'm like, you know what? If I just pick the lobster out, I'll probably be fine.
No.
So I have a couple of spoons of it and I'm feeling fine. And then all of a sudden I start feeling that itch and I go, yeah, this is a bad idea.
I'm done for now.
Yeah, that's as far as we're going. We're not going any further on it. But yeah, like, is there a restaurant around you that we have in America?
Probably like the fast food stuff, like obviously McDonald's. And
McDonald's is a double cheeseburger and a medium fry.
All right. What do you have Burger King?
We do have Burger King.
Yeah, ours is gross, so I don't go there, but I'm interested to hear what you got.
12-piece chicken fry, and if they have them, the large cheesy tot.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If they don't have the cheesy tots, because that's I don't know, they like cancel it and then they bring it back. Kind of like Surge. They brought Surge there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then they freaking abandoned it, Nick. I'm like, this is the best drink in the entire world, and you abandon it again?
It's so funny. I heard someone else talking about that just yesterday.
Is the greatest drink ever invented.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, man, Nick. There's two things that I remember growing up.
Yeah.
The taste will stick with me the rest of my life.
Right.
One of them is Surge, by far the best soft drink ever made.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, I think it was what's the name of them drinks in the pouches? High Cools, is that what they're called, or something like that? Shoot, what are those called?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Little silvery pouches, or
yes,
yeah.
Anyway, they had a Ghostbusters version called Ectoplasm.
Oh, and that was good,
and it was delicious. It was green, and you can't get that anymore either.
No, you know what I miss when it comes to food? Something I miss, and I will till the end of time. Yeah, there's only one place left that serves them, and it's like in the deep south in the U.S. And I think it's probably going to close soon. And that's McDonald's pizza.
You know, you said that. I've had it. It's just okay to me.
Man, I don't know if it was like because I was a little kid at the time.
That's what it is. Nostalgia.
I would have had 10 of those.
It's the nostalgia of it. Yeah, I swear some things I've had it as an adult and I'm like, I don't know why I like this.
Yeah.
But Surge is not one of them. That's the best soda ever made. I'm curious. You used to be able to buy Surge on Amazon.
Yeah. It's got to go somewhere. Like it's not like this company closes and then reopens just for Burger King.
Well, what I think it's a Pepsi product.
Oh, okay.
And I think what they did was they did it only for like a trial run for a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do that. You cannot buy Surge.
Ooh.
Shut the front door.
Uh-oh. What?
I have to have this. I don't even know what this is, but I have to have it. What is this? It's a company called this was meant to be, boys. This was meant to freaking be. Okay. I'm scrolling through Surge and an energy drink pops up. Never had it. Could be god awful. EHP Labs Oxy Shred Health Energy Drink. I can tell you right there, none of that sounds appealing to me. 0 sugar.
Okay.
Slimer Lime Green drink.
This is faded. You've got to get that.
This, I mean, That's ordering it right now.
Your favorite things.
I have to have this. Like, you all think I'm crazy. I'm ordering this right now. I see him
doing it. You can tell by the look on his face, that determination.
This is 1,000% mine now.
Made with real Slimer.
Yes. Ordered.
That was the easiest sell in the history of the world.
You couldn't get no easier. That was sold to me before I even knew it existed. But that Surge soda, you can't get it now. You can buy a Surge t-shirt.
Right.
You know, if I was smart, I found it.
Oh, another thing going in the cart.
If I find, they tricked me, Nick. They tricked me.
Oh, it's not Surge?
They had Surge as an option with a picture because it says help find Surge. Look, y'all think I'm going to lie. It's, do you see in the middle there? It says to help you find the Surge, click the product. I click the product. Oh, there it is. Hold on.
Did it come back?
3.75 Surge Vintage Discontinued Soda Pop Nostalgic Retro Gift Laminated Laptop Sticker.
Oh, no.
Nobody wants that.
That is depressing.
That's depressing. Nobody wants that.
No. They want Surge.
But they have a case. They're showing a picture of a case. You know what happens? And listen, I'm about to give you guys the secret sauce. And I'm curious how much it's going to be. If I was smart, I would have done this. What you do is you go to eBay, you type in Surge drink. Oh, Surge soda. Here we go. And I guess it's going to be an ungodly amount.
Right.
1 can. Full new Surge soda, sealed and unopened can, 16 ounces, $35.75.
Right. You know, there is something I would buy for that amount as a drink.
What's that?
1 bottle Starlight Coke.
Really?
I loved Starlight
the white
Coke.
The crystal clear? Was that the crystal clear one?
No. Starlight Coke was like something they themed after space.
Oh.
And it was just like maybe 2 years ago or something like that. And I never drank Coke before that. I picked up one of those and I was drinking them, man, probably every day.
See, why do they do away with stuff like that? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. They like to do these limited time offers, but if it's really good, you're not going to get it again. I should just not fall for that.
Well, people say all the time, just because it's on eBay doesn't mean that they sell for that much. But I went to the sold listings. They all sell for about $35.
People got a craving, an itch they need scratched.
But it says that almost every single one of them I saw said it's an expired can. So
yeah.
Then you have to, did you ever watch that guy? Do you know who I'm about to say?
He bought like a really old Orbitz bottle.
He's bought a whole bunch, but yes, it's that guy.
Yeah.
His name is, oh gosh. Why can't I think of that guy's name? I used to watch him all the time. I watched him all the way until he ate that cactus. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. Guy that, oh shoot, I can see him in my head and he always opens the intro of the show.
We're really bad at the names of people and things.
Me mostly. Usually you correct me.
Guy me too, because I can't think of what was in that pouch that we were talking about.
The guy that drinks expired things. That should get me where I need to be.
Well, sometimes that guy is me.
Skippy. It's Skippy62 Abel. That's the guy's channel. He drank a 20-year-old Crystal Pepsi.
Right.
And that's the one that was clear.
Did he not get sick off of that?
He gets sick off of all of them.
You know, I think you're generally going to be fine when it comes to drinks because they're sealed good and stuff. It's the guy who eats like World War II rations from the military. Yes. That guy I worry about.
He eats those too.
That's taking your life in your hands. We
guy,
were talking about microplastics. That's nothing compared to what's probably in those.
I'm telling you, he on his YouTube channel ate a cactus, not cut up cactus.
Right.
He ate it like a sandwich,
like not spike,
thorns and all.
Okay, that's just dangerous.
He's nuts.
Yeah, because I've had pickled cactus and it's good, but it doesn't have the thorns on it.
He opens his intro the same way, and then he ends it the same way because he always goes, "Have a good day." I can't. What? He calls himself something else too. And I can't, it's not Skippy. What the heck does he say? His name is, I can't remember. Anyway, he's funny to watch, but I watched something the other day. He opened, I believe it was water that was like in a can, but it was from like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And he opened and there was like rust in it. And the dude still drank it.
Yeah. I don't need to use that badly.
No, I don't need it that badly either. But you know what? It worked because I used to watch him all up until that cactus. And I'm like, I can't watch this no more.
Yeah, that's too
nuts.
much.
That's too far.
That's too much.
You're putting your I don't want to watch you die on screen for views.
Oh man. Yeah, that is too much.
Too far. I can't believe I can't think of his name because he always, anyway, it doesn't matter. We was talking about, we got that trip coming up in September, Nick. That's going to be exciting.
Man, I'm super pumped for that.
And you know, I ran into sometimes on the Reddit machine, I do run into things occasionally.
Yeah.
I am going to send you a picture of something that I found kind of fascinating on Discord. And we've talked about this theory a few times. Where's my stuff at? Hold on. Let me find this. Let me find this here, Nick. Let me find this here thing.
I've been talking to a lot of people in my regular life about what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
You know what every one of them said?
You're nuts.
Yeah, you're nuts. I wouldn't be staying in places like that. And I'm like, what? It's exciting.
It's exciting stuff.
About?
This is a picture that I found. And for anyone that is looking at us on the YouTube machine versus just listening to us, we love you listeners, and we'll try to explain it the best we can. But basically what it is it's a floor plan. And I forget where this was, but it's a floor plan showing that there was a house that was built in 1878. And the way the house plan was, they basically had a room that you went into, and then there's a dotted line showing the path that this ghost or the living person took in their life all the time. And what they would do is go out the door, round the corner, and then up the stairway. Well, now, in 1978, they kind of rebuilt the floor plan. And the way they did it was now there's like a hallway. So they made the rooms smaller.
Right.
And now the way when people see what they believe is the ghost of that individual, they go out the door like they normally do, but then they go through a wall and out another wall and then through another door. And then they just disappear. Well, when you look at the floor plan, they changed the entire way this building was built.
Right.
So in that, and we talk about it all the time, you know, those timelines and how those timelines can kind of switch. I don't know. I found that picture fascinating, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of wanted to get your take on it.
Well, so that's like pure residual haunting. Like they're going through the paths they took in life.
Yes.
To them, they're seeing the regular house, the original layout, all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad you posted that picture, because not the first ghost story book I ever read, but the first one I bought when I was a kid at a Scholastic book fair. I don't know if you guys have those or not.
Oh yeah, we've got them.
Was a book that had hauntings in it and tried to explain them, not saying they weren't real, but more along the lines of why ghost stories are the way they are. Like it had the first picture of a ghost caught on film, all that kind of stuff, and it had a very similar diagram to what you just showed me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I just adopted that as, you know, what it was.
You know, for the longest time, I thought the same thing with these residual hauntings, but I'm starting to change my mind.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How come?
Here recently, should I say on my channel, I'm starting to explore, because I really want to be very well versed when we go in September.
Right.
And there is these people that believe that as we're going through our time here in 2025, also at the same exact time as 2024, 2023, all the way down. So basically, time is linear. What if instead of it being residual, we're just seeing an overlap of one period of time for some reason?
I think that could very well be. And this theory, and that diagram you just posted doesn't discount that at all.
No.
I think about the story you told not long ago about people going into that shop and entering into another time.
Yes.
And back and that kind of thing there. That's what I think of when I think of that.
Yep.
So I think that's very, very likely even.
You know, it's always fascinating because I look at all these things and I'm like, man, why would that be like that?
Right.
And the only thing I can think is one of two things is happening. Either people's right and it is residual and somehow it ingrains that energy into places or things or objects or whatever it may be. I just saw the other day too, they're moving a like hotel plaza here in Ohio.
Right.
And it's like a hotel and I think like a restaurant built in, but all the objects inside the building is haunted.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like all the objects?
So all the objects that are going to be in the facility is haunted.
Right.
But like the things you interact with would not be haunted.
Yeah.
But suppose
that actually makes me think of a jumping off point once we're done with this. That's going to be interesting to you, I think.
Oh, all I was going to say was that it's a case where the best way I can look at it is like Zach Baggins has like that museum.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be like that, but I think they're also going to have like a restaurant.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a tourist attraction.
So you've got my brain really running now on this stuff. And I actually realized while you were doing that, like, I don't know, 10 seconds of finishing that up, I thought of a third thing I got to say too.
Okay, that's fine.
So, you know, it used to be very popular to actually 4 things now. When it comes to ghosts, I get really ramped up on
super ramped. And listen, it's perfect to do it because we're coming up on it.
I know. So one of the popular things that there used to be is headless ghosts in houses. Now, the same way that that paths change in a house, you know, smaller rooms for bigger families and that kind of thing.
Yep.
They say that all these people didn't lose their heads. That's not what happened. With the addition of you know, insulation, better insulation in houses, a lot of ceilings were dropped.
Yep.
And a lot of floors were raised. So you would get what you would see be a floating ghost without a head while its head's up in the ceiling somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've dropped the ceiling or lowered the floor or raised the floor.
Yep.
And we have something that's been a lot of things here, but it was an old schoolhouse, like a great big old schoolhouse with spires on it and everything.
Yep.
And this story's kind of wild, but a cult came to town and fixed it up really nice, repaired it, restored it, made a restaurant there, and their cult lived in houses out back. That's a whole other story for another day because it's not related to ghosts. But they had fire inspectors come in to where fire had damaged something and they had repaired it up in the, I think it's like the 4th or 5th story. And he got a picture, like with an old regular camera, so he couldn't fake it or anything, of a headless ghost. And he, without any knowledge of ghosts, said, these floors have been raised and lowered so much through renovations that I think his head's just up where the ceiling is now. And that's why he theorized about that.
That's the interesting thing.
Yeah. But you got a lot of headless ghost sightings in houses when they started to introduce more insulation because they had to drop things and raise things to add
I could see that.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. But then what triggered my next thoughts is when you were talking about them having a place full of haunted items and stuff like that.
Yep.
Well, in Halifax, which is where I took off from the airplane in that first story, we have the Museum of the Atlantic. And it is full of real items from two major tragedies. One of them you're going to be aware of, and that's the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's sunk just off our coast.
Yep.
So they've got like children's shoes and, statues of different fishermen and stuff that happen to be on the boat, and like all stuff from people who passed away in a pretty traumatic event there.
Yep.
And the other half of the museum, have you ever heard of the Halifax explosion?
No.
So what that was during wartime, a munitions ship just full from front to back, a great big ship full of munitions was in the harbor, and they had lost control of it, and it was heading towards another ship. And it hit the other ship, which started a fire on the munitions ship. And only one guy, and he was a local hero, he realized what was going on, and he got on the old tapping machine. What's that called? The telegraph.
Tapping machine? Oh, telegraph. Yeah.
And he tapped out because there was a train full of people heading towards Halifax.
Yeah.
And he tapped out instead of trying to escape, tapped out, musician ship on fire, do not come. And it stopped, and he saved hundreds of lives there. But that munition ship exploded and leveled like 2/3 of the whole city.
That's
killing
insane.
Just like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So they've got stuff from the dead people from that in this museum as well. And the problem they're having right now, my friend sent me a message about this. They said you should volunteer for this. Is they can't keep night watchmen.
Really?
Yeah, most of them last one night. On the outside, you'll get people who will last two. But they're desperate for people to be night watchmen, and they're like specifically advertising for people who don't believe in the supernatural.
Oh, that's insane.
So what my friend was saying, she was saying they should have it like you pay to have this experience where you stay in there overnight and stuff like that. And I would definitely pay for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, think about it. That's what all these ghost places do. They charge a decent little amount. I mean, you and I guess it depends, right? Like if you think about a hotel.
Right.
When it comes to a hotel, you're going to, here in the States anyway, the low end is about $350 a night.
That's the low end?
Yeah, that's pretty much the low end.
Whew. Boy.
Like you can find some that's cheaper, but you're probably going to lose your kidneys.
Right.
Like I consider $350 kind of being that you probably won't lose your kidneys. You're probably going to survive the next day.
Right.
In which the houses we're going to, it's $350 a night.
So pretty much the same thing.
Basically the same thing. Now the difference is this place, the places we're going to, they open at 7. You're only there until 10 o'clock the next morning. So you're not there very long.
Right.
But I mean, it's pricey.
Yeah. I think it's paying more for the experience than it is for actually
correct
place to take your boots off or something like that.
If you have an experience, Nick, that's the key.
If you don't, you get your money back, right?
No. you're listen. I told someone the other day.
Yeah.
Because they said, what kind of video are you going to make for this experience? I said, well, it's got to be exciting and it's got to be fun.
Right.
Because we can't create a video that's just, well, it's 11 o'clock. Nothing's happened. We're not going to fake anything.
Right.
But we're going to have a little bit of fun.
Demons.
We're going to summon some things. So you said you had 4 things, Nick. That was 3.
So the fourth thing, since I got on the topic of like things that have had popularity in ghost stories, one that used to be popularity is sort of like people who did bad things would become ghosts, and they'd have special conditions to when they could pass on to the afterlife. Have you ever heard any stories like that?
Similar. I've heard some variations similar to that. The big one is that sometimes, and I learned a whole bunch of stuff. And what is it? Maybe original Hebrew. there's a lot of rules and regulations for like inside the house, the things that they would do. And sometimes if things were moved or changed,
right,
it would lock someone to the location until it's corrected.
Mm.
There's a whole bunch of things. There's actually, again, on Reddit,
yeah,
there was a lady that posted a picture of this little glass jar and it was hanging by the window.
right.
And she said, does anyone know what this is? And of course, it's Reddit. Everyone's in there like, well, take it down and see what happens. And I'm like, what the heck is this little jar?
Right.
And I think it's a Jewish tradition or something along that lines. And what it is it's a sense of protection and it keeps things out of the house or the apartment.
Right.
The rule is on some of those that the original owner can be the only one that takes it down.
Ah.
So if someone else takes it down, you're inviting things in.
So what if the original owner passes away or something and doesn't take this down?
No one said,
forever?
But I wondered the same thing. If anyone knows, I want to know. Put it in the comments down below.
I've got a very good friend and she's Jewish and she took that free trip that they get to Israel.
Oh, that's cool.
Parents were super religious, but she is the worst at knowing anything about Jewish people. She never paid attention to anything her parents said. She didn't really pay attention at holidays. She went on the trip to Israel for a free trip and just got into like drama and stuff like that.
No, geez.
So anytime I ask her anything, she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no clue on that one, Nick. I don't know.
Like she couldn't even really describe to me what matzo ball soup really was.
Really?
Yeah. She's had it all the time, but she didn't know anything about cooking or anything.
And that's
she really got no
popular
information for me at all. So I'd say I would ask her, but I know what the answer will be. And she'd be like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, probably don't ask her. No. Another thing, Nick, I wonder if this might save on here. Hopefully it's not too big. Since you're speaking of Canadian,
right?
I found this video on TikTok. I don't know how true it is, but supposedly they keep taking this off of TikTok.
Well, let's see.
I just put it on Discord. What I want to do is 3, 2, 1, and then we watch at the same time.
Okay.
Let me know when you're there.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
I just want to show you guys something. I'm a barber here in Pennsylvania. I work right on Lake Erie, but for the last week, our skies have been filled with this smoke. You can hardly even see that we have a lighthouse over here because it just looks like fog, but they're telling us it's from the Canadian wildfires. But I haven't seen any posts from Canadians or any videos showing crazy Canadian wildfires that cause this much smoke for 6 days. They're telling us to stay inside, but look at this. Is anybody else in the States getting this coming from Canada? Because this is wild.
Is there wildfires going on?
Yeah. So out west catches fire every year, pretty much. So that's true. And I think in the next couple of days, we're going to start getting the smoke from out west.
Got you.
So that is true. A couple of years ago, I think, well, definitely I talked to you about it. We had fires here.
Yeah.
People were evacuating and stuff. You guys probably got some of the smoke from that.
Probably. Listen, here in Ohio, sometimes our weather's so fluctuated, we don't even know. Like today we got slaughtered with rain. Absolutely.
With rain.
Slaughtered with rain. But the next minute would be clear. It's like it's bipolar up in this thing.
Yeah, we actually had, so at night it was raining a lot on the weekend. But and I can't believe I didn't bring this up to you, but I went to a place called Cosby's Garden Center on the weekend.
Cosby's?
Yeah, Cosby's.
Okay.
And he's one old fella, and people had told me about it all the time, but I'd say this is one of the like marvels of things that I've ever seen in my life. The garden center isn't really anything. I don't think he sells anything there, but the parking lot's always full. But he's created this giant garden like you'd imagine in like an old palace, out behind an old palace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got walking trails that go all the way up there. And it's got, beautiful landscaping. But the main thing is that he's made probably 500 to 1,000 statues that are all in there, all on his own. He's the only one who makes them. And they're just everywhere. And in his later years, he's gotten a lot of like ones with like devils with people dancing around it. So when you start to get back towards the back, you get some spooky stuff. And I told him, because I got a chance to talk to him,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I bet you it is real scary here right before the sun sets.
Yeah, for sure.
But I told him, yeah, that to me, that's a good thing. But if you're,
and it was a garden center?
Well, it's a garden center up at the front, but everyone just sort of bypasses that and just wanders this long trail. And it's like beautiful. There's flowers. Everything's manicured. He's got like a bunch of people that take care of that for him. But he just makes giant statues and places them all in this massive garden. There's like dragons. There's like Greek scenes. I sent a picture to someone and said, oh, this looks like I'm going through Medusa's garden or something like that. I'll send you a picture example right quick here.
See, that reminds me of those, but what are the botanical gardens? Is that what they call those things?
Oh, yeah. Those are mostly plants, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're mostly plants, but they do have some structures in them.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
And that, like, there are people hiding behind trees. There's giant.
Can I put this on our YouTube video?
Oh, absolutely. And I've got tons of them.
That's
look
fascinating.
At that. This is kind of like the scarier ones that are happening a little later on. I've got tons that you can use here. This one I really liked. I'll send this in a pair. But there's just like
crazy.
I'd say between 500 to like 1,000 of these, and he's been doing them forever, and he's so good at it.
Yeah, he is good. These are huge too.
Yeah, they are huge. I'm trying to find ones that I didn't put people in.
That's fascinating that someone can make stuff like this. For those of you that's listening and you didn't want to go to the YouTube machine, like there's some, like he's got like tortoises.
Mm-hmm.
He's got, like Nick said, someone hiding behind a tree. There's another one where I don't even know what you would call that. Like, almost looks like a war scene to a degree.
Yeah, or like a revelry or something like that. Or there's one with a great big devil asleep and people are crawling over its back and stuff like that. And it's just one guy who does it. He's got a little workshop and it looks just like Da Vinci's workshop because he's got sketchings and charcoal pencil all over the walls. And
that's interesting.
He's got yellowing photographs of how it used to be and stuff like that. And they're expanding it further still. It must have took us probably like an hour to an hour and a half just to wander through it.
Wow.
And you'd see things like there'd be a statue pointing up into the trees and he'd have some kind of statue in the trees and, just amazing. And you know what it costs to go there? Nothing.
What? You just completely free.
It's completely free. There's a little statue with a cup that says, if you feel like donating, go ahead, but it's not required.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just he found something he loved and he created something amazing and he just wants to share it with people. We had to keep driving up and down the road to wait for a parking spot to open up because the parking lot was just crammed full the whole time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Something fascinating along the lines of what you're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a video for you.
Oh, nice.
And it has to do with trees, which is what we're kind of talking about here. We're talking about sculptures, but it's kind of in this garden area. And there's a lot of trees in these photos.
Yeah. And there's some trees that don't grow. around here. So who knows? This could fit your thing really good.
Well, there's this video, and you'll probably have to pause it once you open it up, or maybe not. It looks like it plays when you click it.
Oh yeah, it does.
I think we do a 3, 2, 1 like we did last time, and then we're going to talk about it. But long story short, this guy, he says that trees are sentient beings, and it listens to you.
Oh man, that's crazy, and that's gonna lead us into a topic that I had tonight too. This is just working out like aces, man.
Like ace. That's the beauty of this new podcast is we can drift in and out of subject matters.
Exactly.
But let's 3, 2, 1. And you give me the opinion on this. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I'm holding this fence. I'm going to stay completely stationary. So I can blow on the leaf. Can't really suck it to me. Hello, beautiful, beloved tree. I know you're just having a good day, but for an experiment, would you please bring your leaf down and touch my face?
Now watch this. Watch this leaf.
Oh.
Now you can see his arms down.
Yeah. And that's really wild. That should be something that you could go out and test.
Yes. See, he even shows.
That's pretty crazy.
Yes.
Because only that little branch he was talking to is doing it.
Like, how crazy is that?
That's super crazy. That's interesting.
Super interesting. Have you ever experimented with anything like that?
I never really occurred to me, to be honest, to talk to the trees so much.
I had heard that people say, and I've never tested this. I've seen it and I'm like, oh, this is a bunch of bull crap. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. But people say if you put plants in a different room and one plant you talk very nicely to and you're very happy and you tell it it is doing a good job and blah, 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 it will grow. That plant will grow. If you go to another identical room and you're just always negative, the plant will die. Same exact species of plant.
So that's interesting because that's a repeatable experiment. That's a true fact.
Yes.
And I don't know that anyone's ever really been able to explain that.
Nope. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Music also has positive effects.
Correct.
On plants too, which is interesting.
Correct.
I kind of want to go try that leaf trick on a tree.
You're going to see Nick outside talking to trees. Hey, little tree. Hey there.
It is kind of like, have you ever been sort of like out in the forest and it kind of responds to the mood a little bit sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
And like when the wind blows, sometimes it seems like it's at just a certain time and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wonder if that's any kind of like, not any kind of extension of what this guy's talking about.
Could very well be. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Because in that video, I think the first thing you'd think is it's his hand, but I don't think his hand was doing it. The other thing I thought is like the wind, but then none of the other branches are doing that.
Right.
And it didn't do exactly what he said, but it did pretty close.
Oh, it was pretty close.
Yeah. If it had done exactly what he said, I think it'd be less believable than it sort of like, because maybe it can't see his face or it doesn't know what a face is.
Here's the thing, though. If that tree's been around for that long,
and
that was a tall tree, it's been around for longer than all of us has been alive combined.
Yeah.
It probably knows what a face is.
Yeah. There was a movie where the trees were like releasing this pollen that drove people crazy.
Oh, yeah. It had, was it Wahlberg in it?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, I think it was Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And his family was sort of trying to run from it.
Yes.
Yeah, because it like people were doing so much damage to the world that they sort of evolved that way.
Yep.
That they could do that. And it's funny because plants can evolve that way, and they do all the time. Like, for example, chili peppers were to deter some things from eating them and allow other things, because birds can't taste heat.
Right.
So they want birds to eat the chili peppers, get the seeds, and take them elsewhere, but they didn't want other things
Right.
to do that. So they evolved like that. And kiwis are evolving that in a couple generations, all humans will be allergic to them.
Oh, that's fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, because a big chunk of the population right now, like young kids, have allergic reactions to kiwis.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just found out when you was talking about the birds and the pepper seeds.
Right.
A lot of people will mix those with bird seed to keep squirrels from eating it because a squirrel can't eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the pepper seed didn't want to get eaten by squirrels and stuff either. So
yeah, super fascinating, man. Nature is so cool.
Yeah. And we respond to nature in that way too, because in a lot of places that you'll notice that places that have very spicy foods are warm places that didn't have refrigeration, and spicy food will not go bad as quickly.
Right.
So we've got a very back and forth relationship with nature and how it evolves and we evolve. And, it's almost like a game of Pong going back and forth.
It kind of is, really.
Yeah. But there's some big news that came out recently. And before I tell you, I want to ask, do you have dogs?
Yep.
Would you consider yourself a dog person more?
Probably so.
Yeah. So dogs have reached a new stage in their evolution or adaptation that is sort of wowing scientists and stuff, because they've reached a stage now where some dogs have the intelligence and problem-solving ability of chimps now. Dogs today, as opposed to maybe in your father's or your grandfather's time, understand people way better than they did even a few generations ago.
You know what that is?
What?
Software update.
Yep, the dogs got their dogs 2.0, 3.0 now, because they were
3.0
dogs now. But like, if you think Old Yeller and stuff, that dog was dumb compared to what we got today.
Oh, yeah.
Feral dogs in cities are learning to use crosswalks and learning to obey traffic lights. Now, in fact, it's kind of funny. They're not doing it by the color of the light.
Right. They're colorblind.
Right. So they have to do traffic lights how I do traffic lights. The dogs are pretty much as smart as me, because I have the position and they have to look at the position. But there's feral dogs that don't live with people who wait for the bottom position light before they go across the street so they don't get hit. Like, they're learning things that people can do, and they are learning our emotions more. So like, when you're upset now, your dog knows it, but a couple generations ago, they probably wouldn't realize what was going on.
You know what's interesting is having animals. I'm surprised with how in tune they are with us as people.
They are.
Like even the last cat that I had, who passed away not that long ago, but it was always amazing. And he lived with us for a very long time. And what always amazed me was if my wife was upset or my daughter was upset,
right,
it would go and lay with them. It's like he always knew what was going on.
Yeah, they really do. They said the difference between cats and dogs is dogs, and I don't know if I believe this or not, because I think cats are incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
But they say dogs recognize that you're a separate thing from them.
Yeah.
But cats think that we're dumb, big cats.
Right.
That can't take care of themselves. That's why they bring us gifts.
Yeah.
Because they don't think we can hunt for ourselves.
Yeah.
But they, like, if you're upset or something like that, you're like a big dumb kitten that they want to take care of. You know?
It's like this dumb. This doggone dumb idiot.
Yeah, exactly. But I haven't heard anything about the cat software update. This was just about dogs for now.
Well, they're slacking. Them cats need to get on the case.
Well, I'll tell you who's slacking.
Who?
The dogs caught up to the chimps. Why aren't the chimps smarter now?
Well, there are descendants. So
yeah. Well, the Planet of the Apes. I think at this rate, we're going to have like Planet of the Dogs.
You might not be wrong.
Yeah.
Could be.
Some dogs can walk on their hind legs.
That is true.
Yeah.
I got a question since we're talking about colored blindness.
Yeah.
Again, something else I pulled off Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you a picture of something, and I want to see.
Oh boy.
It's simple. It's just literally a target.
Yeah.
With red and blue.
Right.
Does that look like a 2-dimensional object to you or a 3-dimensional object?
3 to me.
Some people will see that as only a 2-dimensional object.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that relevant to color blindness or?
So it's a spectrum of sight. If you use both of your eyes, you will see it as a 3-dimensional object. If you use one eye only, so one eye's dominant, you'll see it as a 2-dimensional object.
Oh, okay.
So it's technically using both eyes that then pulls that into a 3-dimensional object. Now, what's fascinating is I can look at it as 2-dimensional.
Right.
And I can switch it to 3-dimensional.
Now, when I started out, it was 2-dimensional until my eyes sort of focused on it more.
Yes.
And then it's 3-dimensional.
Yes.
But if I twitch my eyes sort of, it will turn 2-dimensional for a bit.
Now, here's what's interesting. Can you flip what's in the foreground between the colors of red and blue?
I was trying to do that before, and I can do that.
I can easily make the blue pop out.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work harder to get the red to pop out.
See, it's different for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier for me to do the red than to do the blue, but I can do them both.
When somebody told me that this is what this was, I'm like, dude, everyone's going to see a 3-dimensional object. Like I can make it, like I can break my mind to see it as 2-dimensional. And I showed it to a couple people and they're like, dude, that's not popping out at all. I'm like, what? It's not popping out at all.
Oh, so you tested it on people and some people don't see it 3D?
They see it as a 2D object.
And what did that mean again? That maybe they have one eye that's better than the other?
One eye that's dominant. No, it just means that their brain reconciles based on one eye. So like if you close one eye, you should only see it as a 2-dimensional object.
Oh yeah. I can. Like when I close one eye, well, I mean, that's your depth perception. So it would have to be that way.
Yeah. But some people, they can't make their brain focus with the two images from both eyes.
Man, that seems like a basic human thing. I wouldn't think that.
Well,
that
here's
kind of
what
person would exist.
Here's what's weird is a lot of times if somebody goes to the shooting range, and their shot is way off,
right?
The first question I ask is close your left eye first, and tell me if the sight is aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And if they answer no, I say now close your right eye. Is it aligned with your left eye? And if they say yes, I go your left eye dominant. So with both eyes open, your brain is confused on where the target's at. So always close your right eye if that's the case.
Yeah. I've seen people who have tried to shoot before that they try to keep both their eyes open. And I'm kind of like, what are you doing?
I shoot with both eyes open.
Really?
Yes.
I would think that's very difficult.
It depends. Kind of like in a case like this.
Yeah.
I just, for whatever reason, with both eyes open, I can look and then go, this is because I'm right eye dominant most of the time.
Yeah.
So I know if I'm looking, as long as I have an idea where it's at, I can always aim and hit the target. Always.
See, I find it to be a benefit.
Yeah.
To have it, have your depth perception sort of
Correct.
Out of the equation there.
Correct. And I tell people all the time, like if you can shoot with both eyes open, you probably want to. Yeah. And the easy way to put it is if I'm right eye dominant and I've got my arm straight out for my right arm, then I can still see everything happening to the left of me too.
Wait, do you also keep both eyes open when you're using a rifle though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's wild to me.
I also keep both eyes open when I shoot with a bow, compound bow.
Yeah.
And a long bow. I don't close my eye.
Now, when I've used bows, I haven't closed my eyes. But and with a handgun also, I don't necessarily, it doesn't do me any benefit to do that on a handgun. But when I'm using a rifle, that definitely has a
Well, it depends. Like if you have a scope, I think you'd have to close an eye.
You would have to.
Because you're looking down the barrel. But like if it's a sight, I'm talking about like
sights, iron sights kind of thing.
Iron sight on the end, yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, that's where you got the prong and then you got the two on the end. But if you have iron sights, I always shoot with both eyes open.
That's wild to me. I don't think I could do that.
I'm definitely right eye dominant. Like right now, if I'm looking at the word, you guys can't see it. Well, let's say I'm looking at the center of that target and I close my left eye, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But the moment I close my right eye, it shifts.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were going to show me like a colorblind test or something like that. Because when that first popped up on screen, I was like, I don't see anything but a target.
No, I thought that was super fascinating though.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's such a cool thing. I do have another video to show you, and I kind of want your input on this. I'm going to also put this in the Discord. We'll do a 3, 2, 1 on this. I thought this was fascinating. Also found on the Reddit or TikTok. I'm sorry, this time.
Okay.
But 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, look at this. The sunset is down here on Door Street. But what is this over here? What is that?
Wow.
What is that? That doesn't look like the moon.
They go to sunset down here. How can this be here?
Does that make any sense to you?
I have not seen that myself before.
I don't think that didn't look like the moon.
No. What? Like that's a real crazy reflection if it's the moon.
Right.
What are people saying? Like, did anyone have any theories on that?
In the comments, there was people that's like, "Oh, it must be fake." I don't think that's a fake video.
I don't think it is either, just because of how well it was matched to the camera.
Yes.
But my first thought was that looks fake.
Right.
But I don't think they could match it to the camera that well.
No, but there's people that's fighting in the comment section of that TikTok video. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a horizon line. So you've got that red end of the day horizon line, and then he pans up into the blue sky to a red setting sun, which makes no sense.
Yeah, maybe he's on another planet or something.
I don't know. And before we end it for this week, Nick, I think I'm going to have to bleep a whole bunch of this out for those of you that's listening, because there's a lot of things that I probably can't show.
Well, you already have to bleep the T word I said earlier.
And the S word.
Maybe. Yeah, I probably should that one too.
Yeah, that one I think is it'll at least get us in trouble on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's these new AI videos that I've absolutely fallen in love with. I'm curious if you've seen them.
Oh, okay. It's not
but it is a first person view or a first person video clips of Bigfoot.
I have not seen this and I'm super pumped to see it.
Talking like a vlogger.
I've seen a few different categories of these, but not Bigfoot.
So let's do a 3, 2, 1 on this one. I don't know what I'll have to bleep out, but 3, 2, 1, go.
The others said it would be unethical for me to keep a human. I don't care. I've named him Brian. I love Brian. So Brian just fell off the cliff. He slipped right off the edge. Didn't even scream. I think he'll be fine. This is passion fruit conditioner. Gotta keep the fur fresh and flirty. These are safe. The red ones will make you trip balls. I'm colorblind. Sweet Jesus. This blowing my mind. Turns out Brian wasn't fine. He looked real bad. I really shouldn't have pushed him. Holy those mushrooms have me up. I can see sounds right now. I'm still trying to find my style. This might not be it, but I've committed to it now.
You've not seen any of these?
I've not seen the ones with Bigfoot. That is spectacular. I love that.
This one, I don't even know that I can play this anywhere on the interwebs. I got one more shorter one that I can put on Discord.
I love that part where he's, Brian fell off the cliff. He didn't even scream.
And then I like later he goes, well, Brian wasn't fine.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have pushed him.
Oh, that's spectacular.
This one I love because it's Ohio and it's two of our favorite subject matters.
Okay.
Bigfoot and the Mothman.
Oh boy.
We'll do a 3, 2, 1.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, guys? Today I'm with my boy Mothman and we're gonna explore Ohio together. This whole state is freaking nothing! What the hell do they do around here? Sorry, chat. That place was lame as hell, so we came back to the forest to get
I'm so sorry to hear that Ohio was like that.
It's so funny, dude. So of course TikTok found out that I loved these videos.
Yeah. And
they've legit, like it's all that's in my feed now. And it's just different variations. Like there's, and I'll give you a couple that I know I can't play on here after we're done here. But in one of them, he's got this, it was like a little goat or something, like a lamb. I think it was a little lamb. And he goes, look at this little precious thing. He goes, I love it so much. He's like, I didn't know that I could have to live life and I would do anything to make sure this thing is safe. And then it cuts to the next scene and there's just a lamb circling over the fire, but it's like cooked meat. And he goes, it blinked twice. That's a universal symbol. Dude, that's freaking hilarious, dude.
Oh, those are funny, man.
Funny.
I love that. The variations I've seen, one was, because I've been really into this musical about the Odyssey.
Yep.
And one was like Odysseus holding the camera and he's like, yeah, we're going up to this thing, say hi to chat, and I think everything's going to be fine. And then the next one's like, yeah, so all my men are dead. And
dude, it's so funny. Those are hilarious, dude. I love them.
Yeah. Man,
what says you at home? Have you seen the Bigfoot ones? I did see one with the Loch Ness Monster also. But it's just a pole sticking out of the water. And he goes, hey, it's your boy Loch Ness. It's like, hey, I tell you what, sneaking up on people is kind of fun. And then he does something. And it goes, oh, here's someone now. And then it dips back underneath the water. Then he just sticks his tail out. I'm like, dude, that's funny.
Oh, I love these. I'm going to be looking these up later. And then eventually that's all TikTok will ever show me.
1,000%. That's me. Literally, that's me right now. Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Hey, if there's something that we didn't cover you thought we should have covered, definitely let us know wherever you're listening or watching your podcast. You're only watching in one spot, which is YouTube, which if you want to see any of the things we talked about, you're going to have to go to the YouTube channel. Sorry. Going to have to.
Yeah.
Listen, YouTube's not going to tell you we're there, though, because they're still mad at us.
Yeah, you're going to have to search for us, like really dig deep.
We've been bad boys.
Bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
What you gonna do when they ban your YouTube?
That's about right. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Till we see you in the next podcast. Goodbye.
See ya.